Wait a second, what if I told you some of the world's billionaires drive 15-year-old cars, grab a quick McDonald's meal for breakfast every single day, and live in houses smaller than your neighbor's modest home? You'd probably call me crazy, right? But believe it or not, it's 100% true. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 5 of the world's wealthiest individuals who have mastered the art of being rich without acting like it. No flashy displays, just quiet modesty. Before we dive into their surprisingly modest lives, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss our next deep dive into the fascinating world of wealth. Let's jump right in. We all dream of being a billionaire at some point. Private jets soaring across the globe, sprawling mansions with glistening infinity pools and lush green gardens, and exquisite Michelin-starred meals prepared by world-class chefs. But these 5 billionaires throw the typical playbook right out the window, choosing quiet modesty over flashy displays of wealth. Let's start with number 5. A man who leads one of the world's most valuable and influential companies yet lives a life that's surprisingly down to earth, just like an ordinary person. Number 5. Tim Cook. Born in November 1960 in the quiet state of Alabama, USA, Cook currently serves as the CEO of Apple, the most valuable and influential tech company on the entire planet. Back in 2012, he had already claimed the title of the highest-paid CEO in America, with a massive $377 million compensation package that included a special 10-year stock option reward. Today, his personal net worth sits comfortably between $600 million and $700 million. And it just keeps growing steadily as Apple continues to dominate the global tech world with its innovative and popular products loved by millions around the globe. But here's the twist: Cook still dresses in simple, plain clothes with no designer logos, rides a bicycle to work most days instead of a chauffeured limousine, and hits the gym regularly to stay healthy and focused. His modest Palo Alto home is more a cozy cottage than a billionaire's mansion. It doesn't even have air conditioning, even during hot California summers when most wealthy residents rely on it. Cook says this choice is intentional. It reminds him of his humble roots, growing up in a small town with a hard-working shipyard worker dad and a homemaker mom who taught him frugality and humility. He's also a well-known workaholic. Apple employees often say he's more intense than Steve Jobs, arriving early and staying late to ensure the company's success. And Cook has publicly pledged to donate his entire fortune, with a detailed charity plan to help those in need around the world. Number 4. Sergey Brin. As one of the co-founders of Google, Brin achieved billionaire status at the incredibly young age of 30, with a net worth of $4 billion at that time. Born in Moscow to a loving Russian Jewish family, he moved to the United States as an immigrant during his childhood, and he has never forgotten the important value of frugality that he learned from his parents while growing up. In a 2007 interview, he openly shared, "I learned to be thrifty from my mom and dad. A simple life can be just as happy and fulfilling. I still don't waste a single bite of food at meals, and I always check prices when I shop, even though I sometimes try to stop myself from being so careful with money." This mindset has stayed with him throughout his life of immense wealth, shaping every decision he makes. And he truly walks the walk, despite being worth over $40 billion. He buys everyday clothes with discount cards, compares prices even for small items, and lives free of unnecessary luxury. He owns no fancy mansion or fleet of expensive cars, preferring quiet activities like reading or spending time outdoors in his free time. While most billionaires see time as their most valuable asset, Brin views frugality as a way to stay grounded and true to his immigrant roots, never letting wealth change his core values. Number 3. Mark Zuckerberg. If you're a young person living in today's world, you probably know Zuckerberg as the brilliant founder of Facebook, now rebranded as Meta, a man who is often referred to as the second Bill Gates for his groundbreaking success in the tech industry. Born in 1984, he is now worth nearly $700 billion. But you would never guess that from looking at his everyday wardrobe. He is almost always photographed wearing plain cotton tees, casual hoodies, and simple Adidas slides, not exactly the fancy uniform you'd expect from a top tech tycoon. And this isn't just a random fashion statement. He keeps over 20 identical tees in his closet to save precious time and energy on deciding what to wear each day, allowing him to focus more on his work at Meta and the company's future innovations. His diet is just as down to earth. He's openly obsessed with McDonald's, often stopping by between meetings for a quick meal. And he even took his new wife there on their honeymoon, valuing comfort over grand gestures. His wedding was a tiny backyard gathering with 100 close family and friends, followed by simple sushi with fresh ingredients, no elaborate catering, just genuine connection. Compared to Instagram's flashy lifestyles which he owns, Zuckerberg's life is refreshingly simple, focused on his family, team, and Meta's future. Number 2. Warren Buffett. Known around the world as the Oracle of Omaha, Buffett is a true legend in the investing world. With a net worth of over $70 billion, he is one of the richest people in human history. But he lives a life that's more like someone who has never made more than a middle-class salary. He still resides in the same modest two-story house in Omaha that he purchased all the way back in 1957 for a small sum, drives his own car to work every day, and stops at McDonald's each morning to grab a fresh, simple breakfast. He avoids all forms of luxury at every cost. No fancy yachts, no expensive designer clothes, just the basic things he needs to live comfortably. He does own a few private jets, but only for practicality, as he travels often for business, investing, and charitable events. At nearly 90, he built his fortune through decades of smart investing, careful decisions, and avoiding unnecessary risks. Never forgetting wealth is a tool to use wisely, not a status symbol. He often says the best things in life are free family, friendship, peace of mind, and he lives by that every day. And finally, number 1, Ingvar Kamprad. You might not recognize his name, but you know his iconic company IKEA. The Swedish founder of the world's largest furniture retailer passed away 2 years ago, but his legacy of frugality and simplicity lives on. Back in 2004, he was worth an impressive $18.5 billion. But he chose to live like an ordinary person with no pretense. He drove a 15-year-old car, preferred affordable 3-star hotels for work travel, and even took public transportation occasionally. He often ate at small diners or grabbed a simple hamburger. And his home was furnished mostly with IKEA furniture, except for one old worn chair he'd used for 30 years and refused to replace for sentimental value. Kamprad once said, "New isn't always better," a philosophy that defined his life. Even with billions, he chose comfort and simplicity over luxury, never letting wealth change his humble nature. He saw frugality as a virtue, setting an example that wealth doesn't require arrogance or excess. So, what do you think of these incredible stories? These billionaires have everything most people dream of: money, power, influence, but they choose simple, humble lives aligned with their values. It shows that no matter how much money you have, the best life is the one that feels right for you, not what society expects of the wealthy. We should still work hard for our goals, but these billionaires remind us that wealth and success don't have to change who you are at your core. Do you know any wealthy but low-key people? Drop it in the comments. If you loved this video, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell to never miss our next video about fascinating wealth figures. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.